Welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV after Arsenal's 1-0 victory over West Ham at the Emirates on Saturday afternoon. I'm here with Dan the Man. Both of us have just come from Mikel Arteta's press conference. What was your take first off, Dan?
I think he summed it up pretty well. He said, the performance wasn't necessarily very good, but they got the win, and that's all that matters. He said in his programme notes as well, winning at this point is all that matters if they want to achieve Europe at the end of the season. So they got that win, they battled through. He was pleased with the result, so yeah, overall good afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And he obviously was asked about VAR with Lacazette's goal.
Quite a good line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was really pleased with VAR, didn't he? So yeah, understandably and rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal sort of suffered at the hands of VAR a lot this season. I think it's quite a tedious subject, but people do like it. People do talk about it. You're probably more au favourite than I am because I just switch off when it comes to VAR. But on the flip side of it, someone said to me, this was the first time Arsenal had benefited from that this season. But it was Man United, wasn't it, with Aubameyang as well? So to be fair to VAR, that's the second time it's happened. I'm not sure how many times Arsenal have lost goals because of VAR.
The Palace one at home springs to mind. Do you remember Socrates scored to make it 3-2 and then it was ruled out? That's the main one that springs to mind. But I don't think Arsenal have really been hit by VAR as bad as some teams have, or have had the kind of good effect. You look at Liverpool, I mean, obviously they're a brilliant side and they've had a lot of VAR decisions go their way, and a lot of teams have had them not go their way, but I think we've got off quite lightly with VAR this season, to be honest.
Do you think? I don't know. I think that the sentiment from fans is they hate it, basically, and they hate all the sort of posturing and the nonsense from Stockley Park.
And needs a lot of work.
It does need work, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And obviously I was in David Moyes' presser afterwards as well, when he was asked about Arteta, whether he was sort of pleased to see him, obviously being colleagues and sort of teammates for I think it was 7 years, basically. And, he's a bit of a gruff Scotsman, and he just goes, no, not when we've lost. But he did actually say, in fairness, after he was sort of half joking, that Mikel Arteta would become a great manager, basically. And I think there was more evidence of that again today, because he spoke honestly about the result. It wasn't the best result. It wasn't the best performance in the world, but it was a fantastic result in terms of propelling Arsenal towards the sort of holy grail of potentially fifth place. I mean, what was your take on Arteta today?
Well, you mentioned Moyes there. I think there was clearly there's a lot of admiration from Arteta towards David Moyes. He described him as a big influence, didn't he? Obviously played for him at Everton for 7 years, and he's clearly big influence on him in terms of, I don't think necessarily his tactical style, but I think his man management. Yeah. And he said, he was massive for me, and he's always supported me. I think he said earlier in the week that he called him before he became Arsenal manager to get advice. Yeah. So there's clearly a good relationship there. Maybe not shown in Moyes' response to the question, but as I say, a lot of admiration. So it's good to see Arteta, showing that softer side, especially to other managers.
Absolutely, and obviously Arteta was asked about why Martinelli didn't start, or why he preferred Eddie to Martinelli, and he spoke about the West Ham defenders, didn't he? They were big lads, and he just thought Eddie would fare better. Basically,
I understand that to an extent. I think it was more based around why did he pick Eddie over Lacazette rather than Martinelli, and he said, I thought, as you mentioned, that he'd fare better against the West Ham defenders. I think that's probably right. Nketiah's main kind of quality is his movement to get him in those positions, and when you're up against two big strong centre-backs in Ogbonna and Diop, and Lacazette, we've seen him more hold the ball up back into defenders and maybe go into more of that physical battle rather than finding space between them or around them. So he probably was right to pick Nketiah. It didn't really pay off. Obviously Lacazette came on and got the goal, so it does show that he's willing to make the change. It was quite an early change as well, wasn't it? It was just for the hour. So it does show that he's willing to give both chances and both opportunities and make changes when he needs to. So Good that both of them got minutes, and obviously Lacazette scored. But I do agree that Nketiah probably should have started if you look at it tactically. Yeah,
absolutely. Just in terms of Wednesday's game then, City away, it's going to be really tough, isn't it?
Very tough. Me and Sergio were still here looking at the league table, and we were saying, 3 points off with the game in hand, then we both quickly realised Man City has the game in hand. So, we'll have to go there and be defensively solid and just try and hopefully nick a goal. I think City will try and dominate the game as they always do. But on a good run, 8 unbeaten in the league at the moment. Obviously Olympiacos is a bit of a blip, but we're trying to put that behind us. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen in football, and the confidence is clearly there, and the performances are getting better. Obviously, it wasn't great today, but we have seen Arsenal play really well under Arteta, and they're getting results is the most important thing. He said that the best teams grind out wins, and they get results when they're not playing well. And Arsenal are doing that at the moment. So there are a lot of positives, and as I say, Wednesday we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you're right. He touched on he did take time to highlight the solidarity and the unity of the side as well, which I thought was a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. You can see it. You can see it. I mean, if you look at it in the celebration, they were all kind of on the halfway line, obviously, while VAR was having a check, and they all went to each other immediately. It was the whole team were there. And you can see there's more of that togetherness that was lacking before. And that will get you through in times of hardship and when you're struggling. That togetherness.
Yeah.
And they need to show more of that on a more consistent basis and more regularly, because it is such a real positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just if we sort of speak now in terms of the league table, I think Arsenal 3 points off 5th place. Is that right? Is it 3 points?
Yes.
Depending on how the results go.
Yeah.
I know Burnley have beaten Spurs 1-0 currently, but we don't know at the moment. So at the time of we're filming this, Arsenal are 3 points off 5th place. That's considering the season Arsenal have had.
It's doable.
Isn't it?
But as we said in the match reaction, you have to win the big games that are coming up, which are Tottenham, Leicester, obviously City Wednesday, and they've got Liverpool at home as well.
Yeah.
Those are 4 massive games that Arsenal have to win, and Wolves away is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Because you think back to last season under Unai Emery, they went to Molineux and got absolutely battered.
Yeah.
I think it was 3-1, wasn't it? But they were run off the park.
Yeah.
Wolves were brilliant, and they've done really well again this season. They've got a lot of talented players. Arsenal have to find a way to win.
Yeah.
There are in those 5 games we mentioned, they have to win. They're not going to do it. If they drop points, maybe you can nick a draw here or there. That will help, but they can't lose any of those games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we're talking about West Ham on Wednesday. Then it's Brighton away on a sort of week Saturday. The Sheffield United away on the weekend of the 21st.
Yeah.
We've got the international fixtures, and then it's Norwich home on the 4th of April, as far as I know at the moment.
It's the last game of the season, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of the games that are coming up, they're all winnable games basically, and I think that the saving grace from that Wolves game is it's sandwiched between their 2 ties with Olympiacos, and I know Nuno Gomez.
Oh, Olympiacos.
Yeah. Whatever happened to them?
Do us a favour.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know Nuno Gomez plays as settled a side as possible, basically. But he's bound to make changes between the first leg and second leg with Arsenal sandwiched in the middle, which may help Arsenal in a way. But ultimately, Wolves are still a good side, good solid side, good attacking side too. So it's going to be really difficult.
I was trying to work out who Nuno Gomez was for a minute, but I realised you mean Nuno Espirito Santo.
Santos, yeah. Well, honestly, it's been one of those days. Yeah, absolutely. I think I saw him play as well.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway,
yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at that Wolves team that played Espanyol in the second leg, there were a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And they obviously had a 4-0 lead from the first leg. They could afford to do that.
Yeah.
But as we've seen, the Thursday night games can really cause a fitness issue. Will he shuffle the pack? Will he risk a Europa League run going down the pan because of a Premier League game against Arsenal?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that will help us in terms of having it sandwiched between those 2 games.
Absolutely. And obviously, in terms of fixtures, again, this is Arsenal's last home game until April the 4th. So it's almost a month, basically. So, just keep watching Gooner Fanzine TV. Subscribe to the fanzine as well for your latest Arsenal fix, basically, because we're going to miss not coming here for all the gripes and grumbles and all the lack of form and the annoyances we've suffered this season. But, hopefully there will be a home game. You never know with COVID-19 and the spread and everything. But anyway, and on a lighter note, thanks very much for watching. Thanks to Dan the Man for his thoughts from Mikel Arteta's press conference. Like, comment, share. We want to know what you think as well. Is 5th place achievable? Is it a good result? Was it a good result today? What do you think of Mikel Arteta as well? And what do you think about City on Wednesday away? We've got a podcast on Monday. We've got other bits coming out as well. So stay tuned to Gooner Fanzine TV. Thanks for watching, and here's to Arsenal steadily climbing the table after another hard-fought victory today. Cheers.